then a bit of a harder time believing in the process. So maybe I was just burnt out last year. I realized like maybe I shouldn't have been trying to push myself on the World Cup circuit.
How do you deal with it? I guess there must be, when the results aren't going the way you want, there must be some kind of darker times, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess I was just like, honestly, kind of numb. Like, and then other competitors like Isa, who I'm actually really tight with, like writes me this amazing card, and she's just like, the climb and the fight is cooler than the winning.
Nice.
Like it's like everything's in this, and like in a sense, I think it like dissociated me from the process and made me not believe in doing all the process to get the outcome, because I had been doing the process and I felt like I wasn't receiving the outcome I wanted.
Yeah.
So like 2023 was actually like really weird for me season wise, because I was almost disconnected from doing the process, because it is ever consuming. Like to be at the world level, and when we have riders like Isa and Richie that deliver like consistently like they do, like that's insane. Like there's so many variables that have to come in, like whether it be reading if the berm is a bit like, you know, there's so many things that have to come together. So I really respect people that can deliver at that level. And yeah, in 2023 I was just like, I'm owed this outcome. Like I know I can, I've proven I can, like, so I was angry almost. And I didn't really like my day to day, which is a bit sad, whatever your job is. So yeah, like a huge disconnect, and like riding, like not making myself proud, and like having crashes because like trying to do too much, like not believing that I was doing well. And yeah, so just like not cool.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a fun year.
No. 2023 was hard on me, for sure.
You get in your head a bit as well, I guess. Like it's a bit of a downward spiral with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and isn't it funny that like you just, as an athlete, that you're there and then you kind of know what you have to do to get out of it. But like you said, like applying those lessons and applying those the advice that people give you, like it takes a lot for things to like go into a good motion. So,
you kind of got locked into like measuring yourself in results instead of in process, right? Because you lost a bit of faith in the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I always said you have to be in the process, you have to believe in the process. But I also realized, like, not to use big words, but like I've been a racer since I was, you know, very young. I had a full XC career of believing in the process, and then I had the enduro days of big success, then a bit of a harder time believing in the process. So maybe I was just burnt out last year. I realized like maybe I shouldn't have been trying to push myself on the World Cup circuit, but I believed I should still, and I was supported by a team, and I didn't want to have a disconnect because I didn't know if I could bring it back, you know? So, but looking back, definitely my 100% wasn't 100% last year. I gave everything I had, but it wasn't 100%.
You weren't the full ALN that year?
No, yeah.
How do you go and find the full ALN?
Yeah, it was a bit of a quest, honestly. Kind of knew that I needed change for sure. Like, because
you had a bit of change in 2023 in a way, though, right? Because Jesse left the team for Canyon. And am I right in thinking he took his mechanic and Tara with him? And Tara was like your physio, but I think a lot more than that as well. Yeah.
Trotter was actually my mechanic. So Trotter ended up going with Jesse. I think the correct way to say it would actually be to say that Trotter went to work for Canyon. And at the end of the day, like people who work for teams, like they're people trying to make a living and like working conditions. And so everybody kind of went to themselves and being like, what do I want for myself? And then made those decisions based on that. And I really respect that. It was hard because I think any team environment that was successful, when it does come to a change or an end, is difficult. I think where I maybe was wrong is I didn't go to myself. I didn't go to myself and be like, wait, do I need?
Yeah, okay.
I just stayed and I was like, I need to keep this program going. Like, I believe in this program.
Yeah.
I want this team to be a legacy for the upcoming North American riders, because honestly, it's hard to have like a pro team from North America on this circuit. So I just really believed in that. But then I was like fully not looking after myself. My focus was so outward. So I don't think that changed in 2023. I don't think it served me.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense.
Yeah. So I just finished 2023 and I was like, well, first physically, mentally, physiologically, I can't do another season like this.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, that's step one.
Yeah.
So where do I find what I need? And it was the tough time of the industry too. Probably the worst time to try and change. Everybody thought I was kind of crazy when I said I was leaving. And
so that was your decision then? It wasn't that Rocky wanted to change things up. It was you were like, right, I need to freshen things.
In a circumstantial way. Everybody was kind of on 2 years but me. So I was getting re-signed, and then there was movement within how the team was going to be organized. It's now ran by Ludovic, who also runs the Ludanville World Cup and like had kind of a Rocky development team. So now it's based in Europe. So that was a big change for me as well, if I was going to jump on board with that program. And then I kind of realized everything was going to change at that point. And I was like, what do I need? What do I want? And I think I raced the Downhill World Cup in Mont Saint Anne, and then I was finishing my first practice lap and I just saw the guy from Commencal Canada, and I'd never really introduced myself. We knew of each other, and I was like, hey, what's going on next year with you guys? Because I knew Commencal was a brand that really has racing at heart and probably a good boat to be onto. And that ended up leading into a meeting that I thought was going to be like, oh yeah, we can give you bikes. But it ended up being more than that. There was some interest in pushing the trail bikes in North America, especially with a female. I don't think they had like a woman athlete in North America on the metas. So kind of like worked. And just like that's a very like short, because lots happened. Like I talked to everybody. I was like putting out like Hail Marys out there, like just like, like this is my last, like, like let's do it or whatever. And in the industry, like I received a lot of support, even though there wasn't like amazing offer on my table, because it just wasn't the season for that. And to be honest, I'm very objective with what I delivered as well. Like I was 12th overall.
Okay.
I hadn't like rocked up on a podium in a long time. I almost won Whistler in 2022. That's awesome. But like on a sheet of paper, that is not a win, not
the easiest like negotiation position, I guess, in a time when things are tight.
So I really believe that in a sense, like I was kind of reaping what I sowed out there in the industry, like of just like the way I conducted myself, how I raced, why I raced, the brand that I built. So I'm super thankful that I ended up finding something and that people helped me finding something.